Alright, what's going on, guys? We're going to continue fishing some new lures, at least new lures to me that I've never fished before from Leland Lures. Today's lure is going to be this thing. This is the trout worms. Online, I had high hopes for this thing when I saw this picture, but after it got delivered, my expectations just went completely down. So we're still going to fish this thing, but I don't know if we're going to catch anything on this. It's not, doesn't look as good as it did when I saw it online, but you never know. I might be pleasantly surprised. So we're gonna fish this thing for about an hour here on this lake, and we'll see what we can catch on it. Alright, so here is the lure, the trout worm. So it comes in a 5-pack, fairly cheap. I think this thing was 99 cents. So you get 5 of them for 99 cents. 20 cents a piece is not bad, but I really don't know about this lure. I've got it on a 1/8 ounce jig head. It's just bigger than I thought it was. I mean, I'm sure maybe for trout this will be fine. For bass it'll be fine. A lot of these lures from Leland Lures, the company that makes these, a lot of them I think are excellent for just bluegill and pan fishing. So I hope that this would also be one of those type of lures. Like the Trout Magnet is an excellent panfish lure, the Trout Slayer as well. They make the crappie magnet, they make the panfish magnet. So I had hoped that this lure would also be really good for panfish, but I just think it's too big to be used effectively for really any kind of panfish. But hopefully we can at least get some bass on it. Wow, okay, that surprised me. It is a bass. Okay, wow. Maybe I will be pleasantly surprised by this lure. Alrighty, so first cast, we got our first bite of the day on the little trout worms, and we got our first fish on the bank. So it's on the smaller side. This is a nice sized little Florida bass. So perfect size fish for what we're fishing and what we're going after. So hopefully it's not going to be the first cast curse where we catch a fish in our first cast and then catch nothing else all day. But I'm very happy that we were able to get one, because I thought maybe we were going to get zero fish on that lure today. But to get one, that's a good sign of hopefully more good things to come. Got him. That guy pulled really well. It's going to be a mine cichlid, I'm sure, if we can get it in, because we're going to have to get it in through all this very, very thick algae here. Oh! Alright. Put a little bit too much pressure on that guy. And I broke my line. Alright. Well, at least we know that we can get some bites on that little worm. Let's retie, let's put another one on, let's try to catch another fish. Got him. Not that big, but big enough to be caught if we can get him in here. Again, tough to get him in through all this stuff, but we got our second fish on the bank here. Alright, so we got 3 bites, hooked up with all 3, and we got 2 of them on the bank, which isn't a great ratio, but it's good enough for me right now. So our second bass of the day on the bank here. Not a massive one, but I'd say this is a pretty good sized bass, especially for the type of fishing that we're doing here. So that guy's back, and I'm actually very pleasantly surprised and impressed that we were able to get 3 bites on that little worm so far, because I really did not have high hopes or high expectations for that thing. But let's keep going. Hopefully we can get another 1 or 2 fish on that thing. Got him. See what this is. It's going to be a bass because he's going up. So whenever I hook up with a decent fish over here, if they pull up, I know it's a bass. If they pull down, like that one fish that broke me off, I know it's a mine cichlid. All right, I'm not sure if he's as big as some of the ones that I caught so far. I think I caught, what, two? Did I catch two? I don't even know. I think this might be one of the smaller ones, but he's not that much smaller. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. It's a nice sized fish for doing some light powered fishing like this. So that lure has exceeded my expectations by a lot already. I've been fishing maybe like 45 minutes. I only wanted to fish about an hour or so. So I'll make a few more casts. We'll see if we can catch anything. And then I think we're gonna wrap it up and talk about the lure. Oh, that was quick. Right on the drop before I even closed my bail. I felt this guy pick up the lure. It's gonna be another bass. This is actually, I think, might be the biggest bass of the day. He looks of a pretty good size. But of course, we gotta bring in all this algae and junk with him. That's a fatty. Let's take a look at him. All right, so this is a chunky little Florida bass, and I am very happy calling it a day on this one. So we'll drop this guy back on in there. Like I said earlier, my expectations have been completely blown out of the water with this lure. I did way better than I thought I would. So let's head home, let's wrap it up, let's talk about the lure. Alright guys, so that's going to do it. Let's take a few minutes, let's talk about the day, and let's talk about the little Leland Lures trout worm. So it was a fairly good day. I only fished for about 45 minutes. I got my hands on, I think it was 3 Florida bass, and I also lost another Florida bass and another what I think was a mine cichlid. So we hooked up with 5 fish in about 45 minutes, so that's a fish every 9 minutes, which isn't too bad for a fairly moderately pressured, just public park pond like the one I was fishing. So I'd say the action was pretty good, and that blew my expectations out of the water because I was fully prepared to get 0 bites today. And this lure really impressed me. Now the reason I was expecting to get 0 bites today is mainly because this doesn't look like much of anything. There's dozens and dozens, probably even hundreds and hundreds of different little plastic worms out there on the market, and all of them just look better than this. This has absolutely 0 detail. It's smooth. It looks like a little piece of licorice. There's nothing to this lure, but it works. And I think that's kind of the, I don't know if it's the selling point, but it's part of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Again, not the marketing strategy, maybe the gimmick or lack thereof that Leland Lures goes for. A lot of their lures they make, they're just very simple, but they're very simple, and they work really well. Like their most successful lure is probably going to be the Trout Magnet, and that thing is almost as simple of a lure as you can go with, and that is probably also the lure that's going to give you the absolute most success if you're looking for just a lure to catch like some smaller panfish on, or I guess trout like the name presents. But they just make these really simple lures, very cheap, no detail on them, and they just work. So like I said, this was came in a 5-pack for 99 cents. So they were 20 cents a piece, which is super cheap. They do get torn up pretty easily. They're not all that durable. But for 20 cents, I mean, you can't really expect too much more. And it does have a very nice action. So it's tough for me to explain what the action of this lure looks like. But if you've ever been fishing with live night crawlers, and then at the end of the day you're done, but you've still got some night crawlers left, so you just kind of dump the night crawlers in the water, and you watch the night crawlers kind of sink down to the bottom, and as they're sinking down to the bottom, they're kind of squirming and moving around. That's exactly what this lure looks like as I was kind of jigging it and pulling it through the water. It looked like a night crawler as it was sinking. So tough to explain what that looks like, but if you've ever seen a night crawler sink, that's exactly what it looks like. So it had a very natural looking presentation in the water, which I was also not expecting. Now, even though I had success with this lure, I'm not sure what kind of applications I would use this lure for as my go-to lure, because I think there's other little worms out there that I would rather use than this lure. So it's slightly bigger than what I would consider to be like a true panfish lure. We got a lot of bass on it today, so if you're looking for like a bass lure, I think that'd be pretty good. Obviously for trout, this is also probably going to be pretty good for some bigger trout. But there's other lures out there like this thing, which is the Z-Man micro worm. So a little bit shorter. It has a tapered finish here, so it's slimmer there at the edge. It's thicker at the head section there, and it's also made of that super stretchy, durable material that all Z-Man lures are made out of. So this thing's more expensive, but it's going to last you more fish. Now, if I was personally going to look for like a small but slightly bigger worm, I would probably go with this thing over this thing. But this thing is still, I think, a pretty good second option. And if I was going to look for like a really, really small worm, Leland Lures also makes the Trout Manda Cross, which I fished, I think, 2 videos ago, if I'm not mistaken, and did really well with this thing. So any fish that is going to bite this is also going to bite this. So any sort of bass will go after this. I'm sure trout will go after this as well. And this lure is so small where I think you'll have a pretty good chance of getting a good number of sunfish, bluegills, pumpkin seeds, redbreasts, warmouths, that sort of thing. So if I was looking for like a more versatile lure to use for more applications, especially if I was going to be ultralight fishing, I would go with something like that. But if you're looking for like that slightly bigger lure that's still fairly small and slim, a small presentation, I think this is an excellent choice, and I was really, really surprised by this. So would I fish this again? Yeah, sure, why not? Because it did work pretty well. But I'm not sure if I would go out of my way to buy this lure again, because there's other lures out there like the 2 that I just kind of showed you that I would probably rather fish and rather buy than this lure. But yeah, excellent lure. Hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys next time.